Hello there, and welcome once again to the Finnish countryside. Today we are going to do something which didn't fit to the last video of the autumn test, although it is one of the most important things to do in the autumn, namely shearing the sheep. I started already yesterday with Musti, with our ram. As you can see, he's not quite ready yet, but I was doing it inside, so it wasn't a very good place to film. That's why now I'm cutting the next one here outside so I can show it you better. So as you can see, I have already started a bit with Lempi. At first I made this cut in the middle of the back. No matter if you have hobby sheep or if you do it more professional or so, you should be shearing them twice a year, in the spring and in the autumn. Also, if you are not using the wool, it is not very protective when it's overgrown. So that's why before the winter it would be very important, so that you, oh no, all the sheep, they are very curious. Wool, exactly, it's not that protective anymore if it's too long. That's why you have to cut it. You have to shear the sheep so that they can get the good winter coat again, because it's a bit like when you are petting a husky dog. The over hair there is like wet or so when it's snowing or raining, but the wool underneath it is dry. And the same thing is with the sheep wool. When you are petting them, so it's only the upper wool which is wet. And the same thing is also in the summer. That's why you have to shear the sheep in the spring, because when the hair, the wool, when there's too much of it, then it's first of all it's too heavy and too warm, of course, in the summer. But when they have a real wool, like long, not too long, then it's also protecting against the heat. That's why shearing the sheep is essential for them. Very best thing would be if you would have this kind of shearing machine, because it's not only effective, fast, good for you and so on, it's also very good for the sheep, because then the wool is then also short enough, because only with this shearing scissors you don't get it that good like with the machine. But the machines cost about 600, 800, 1000 euro. That's why we haven't been buying that kind of thing yet, because as you can see we have only 4 sheep, so it's not that big thing to shear them. And of course at the moment I'm still very slow, because if you are new here, we bought the sheep in March. So this is our very second time as we are shearing them. That's why it's still taking a lot of time, and it's more like practicing than really shearing. However, I notice I am becoming much faster and more confident, especially more confident, because at first you have, of course, very afraid of cutting the sheep. And that's why it took me like, I don't even know how many hours to shear one sheep, or days, actually days, because you can't shear that long because you are in some kind of weird positions mostly. And what would be also a very good thing would be this kind of rack where you can put the sheep, and then there's a place for its head and so on. and then the sheep is standing there and can't move, and it's a bit higher so that you are like cutting it like this. And that is, I think, something what Stefan has to build, I guess, because Stefan is the building master in our household. Yeah, however, it's okay, going okay also like this. I am letting the sheep free when I'm doing it, because I think that's the nicest way to do. Because Berta, the sheep which we slaughtered this autumn, she was very, very shy. And last year most of the sheep were quite shy, because they just came to us as we then needed to already shear them. And it was a fight to shear them, because you needed so much power with your legs so that you could hold them, so that they didn't run away. Because they were, of course, maybe not that afraid, but they didn't trust you. And now it's so nice. Yesterday I was shearing the ram, because the ram was the first one who went to do it. And he was like, I think he was enjoying it. He was like sleeping, and he laid himself always down, and so it was a really nice thing. The problem is just that the sheep don't want to be alone. That's why they always come in this kind of package. So yesterday I had to close all of them inside of the sheep house. Yeah. But now I thought that when I'm filming it, then there should be a bit more light. But I think it's quite good that you start with the scissors and not right away with the machine, because now you learn to know the anatomy of your sheep. Where are the bones and how thick is the wool actually, and so on. So then when you then are having a machine, it's maybe easier to use then. Some sheep have some places where they don't like it when you are trying to shear them, like Lempi, who's otherwise such a nice girl, but somehow she hates it when I'm trying to shear her back legs. And some sheep don't like if you touch the behind the head or under the belly or so. But those are things which you will learn then once you start shearing your own sheep. Who likes and who doesn't like something, like Musti here, the ram. He was actually, I didn't find any place which he was not keen to, like this small tail here, not a problem, nothing was a problem for him, which was of course very nice. And Pompuli here was taking everything quite chilly, quite nicely, was very easy going until I came near to her sides and her back and her tail. Then it was nothing. What you can also do is take the sheep between your legs so that the head is behind you, because then the sheep somehow thinks that she or he can't run away, and that's of course very good if you're doing it alone. The best thing is that you take the wool with your hands, but not too much, because otherwise you take skin with you, and that's of course not a good thing. Then you'll just cut it from the so down how it's possible, and if you take it too much, then there's of course skin with it, and that's not a good thing. Then there's of course this one thing, namely, isn't it taking so much time, and isn't it a bit boring? And yes, it is taking a lot of time, but the question what I would then ask is that what would you do otherwise with this time? Many people have hobbies. where the people are spending a lot of time and money. For me, at least for me, this is my hobby. It's also now my lifestyle, living here and doing all these things with our dear animals and learning so many new things like this shearing. This is a thing what I decided to do, what I wanted to do, and of course not every single task here is something what you totally enjoy and what you are thinking that this is the best thing to do ever. Of course not. Of course, here are also many things which you are thinking like, isn't this boring or something else? Of course. But when I come back to this shearing, it's not only that you are learning it, which makes you once again a bit more independent. You don't need other people for taking care of your sheep because you know how to do these things. And of course, it's very nice to spend time with these animals, but it's really not that exciting that I would do it for hours just like that. It's a bit like washing some laundry or so. And of course, also this thing, like many other things here on a new small homestead as well, is a thing where you become better and faster when you are doing it more often and often. Obviously, because I doubt if someone is master on the very first time. If so, that's also good, but you just need to be patient and have the courage to try, and then you will see how you become better and better every time. Yeah, I think these people don't maybe realize how nice it is to do these kind of things, especially because you are doing them not only for your sheep, but for yourself, for your family. Because, well, this wool is obviously you can't use it for anything except for the garden. And of course, if you would like to, you could also take that kind of sheep which produce very good wool and then start to do it like professionally. But yeah, that's not what we are wanting to do. So as you can see, I needed so long for this shearing process that it actually came already winter and now it's already spring again. No, not exactly, but it felt like a really, really long time. And actually, I think it was about 1 week. About 1 week for 4 sheep is really, really slow. But now they are ready. And what did I learn from this project is that shearing is really not that difficult. Everybody can do it if they just have some time for it. And a shearing a machine would be a good thing to have, especially if you don't have that much time. Of course, I didn't shear 1 week, like 8 hours per day. Clearly, as you could see in the video, but still, it takes just way too long. And what was a funny thing to notice is that Lempi and Pumpuli are totally gray, and Musti and Pilvi are totally black. So I hope you like this sheep video, because I love our sheep. That's why I love also to film with them. Yeah, and if you want to see more, it doesn't have to be sheep content, but if you want to see more about these things which we are doing for the first time and how they are going and so on, then write me a comment. And otherwise, if you want to see more of our daily life here, I'm trying to post it on Instagram. And yeah, I wish everyone a nice weekend, and we will see us maybe next time again.